Hello guys, welcome to my channel. In today's video I want to show us how I made this reversible Pinafore peplum with 720-degree flare. You can see how beautiful this is. Like, this Pinafore peplum is just so lovely. I went to church and everyone was just commending. So if you are interested in learning how I made this beautiful dress, please keep on watching and let's get started. So the first thing I did was to fold my fabric into two, and I also drew a straight line on the shoulder side to guide me for measurement. The first measurement I took was my half length. I just measured it and I will draw a straight line across it. Then the next thing I want ahead to do is to take my shoulder measurement. My shoulder measurement divided by 2. Whatever it gives me, I'll minus 1 from there because the side of this peplum will be open. So my shoulder is 15 by 2 is 7.5. I minus 1 inch, that's 6.5. So after that, the next thing I did was to take my neck width. My neck width was 3 inches. I used 3 inches. So I came down from here with 1 inch. Then I'll connect it to the neck side. That will serve as my shoulder slope. Then the next thing I did is to go up by half inch and this side by half inch. Then I'll connect it and that will serve as sewing allowance for the shoulder. This one is not necessary. If you don't want, you can leave it. Then for my neck depth, I came down with 1.5 inches. Then I went ahead to connect it. So now from this half length line, I'm going to mark my nipple to nipple measurement divided by 2. My nipple to nipple measurement is 8 inches. Divided by 2 will give me 4 inches. Then I added extra half inch for sewing allowance. That is basically all for all the measurements you need. The next thing I will do is to go ahead and connect this line to the shoulder line, and we are done with measurements. So I'll go ahead and cut it. So after I'm done cutting it, this is what I have. I'm going to place it on this piece of fabric to cut the front side. Now remember, the front side is open, so this piece of cloth is already opened. If your own is folded, when you're done cutting, you can go ahead and open it. So now I'll trace all the line and cut it. Then I'll go ahead and work on the next side for the front. Remember, I also gave about half an inch for that front side before cutting it. So now you can see the front side is longer than the back side. So now for the neck, I'll come down by 3 inches. So for the front side, I'm using a neck depth of 3 inches. Okay, so after marking it, I'll go ahead and connect it back to the neck depth and then cut it. So remember, we are working on 2 different fabric. So I'm going to use this same one to cut the other fabric, the reversible side of the fabric. So I'm done cutting the 2 fabric, and this is what I have here. For this one, this is the back and this is the 2 pieces for the front side. You can see the front side is open, and this is how this one is as well. And now I've also gone ahead to cut the band. The band is about 4 inches wide and 30 inches in length. So now we'll go ahead and calculate the measurement for the peplum. For this peplum, you need your half length, the half length of this top, and then we need the full length, and my full length is 25 inches, and then the waist measurements as well, and mine is 30. Remember, we're working on 720-degree flare and we need 2 circles. Okay, that's 360 plus 360, and that will give us 720, and that means we need 2 circles for each of the side. We're working on 2 sides, 2 circles for each side. Okay, 2 for the front side and 2 for the other side. Now we'll have to calculate the radius to cut this circle. Okay, and for us to do that, you need your waist measurement divided by 2. Now I've divided my own, and my own is 15 inches. Okay, now for us to calculate this radius now, the formula to get it is c over 6.28. Just input your own measurement and follow the step, you will get it. Just know the formula. Once you know the formula, you will get it. Just clamp this formula. Okay, this 6.28 is constant. It's not gotten from anywhere, like it's constant for the calculation. Now we have to go ahead and input the values. Our c is 15. Okay, now we'll say r is equal to 15 over 6.28, and that will give me 2.39, and that is my own radius. When you put your own value, you will get different radius. So I'll have to note this 2.39 as my radius because I'll be using it when I'm cutting the flare. So now the length of our peplum will be gotten from full length of the top minus the half length. The half length I use is 16 and the full length is 25. That's 25 minus 16, that will give me 9 inches. That means the length of this peplum I'm cutting will be 9 inches. Now to put the material on fold, I'll have to plus this 9 inches plus my radius. Okay, for us to fold the mat, because I'm going to fold this material into 4, and the measurement we're using to fold it into 4 will be 9 plus 2.39. That's our length of the peplum, length of the flare plus the radius, and that will give me 11.39, and that will be all for the calculation. Just know the full length, half length, your waist measurement, and input it here, and you will get exactly your own calculation. So let's go ahead and do the cutting. So now for us to do the cutting, now this material is not on fold. Remember I told you we are using this to fold it. So now I'm going to add extra 1 inch. That will give me 12.39. So I'll just approximate it to 12.5. So that means I'm using 12.5 to fold this material. So here I'll measure 12.9, and from there I'll fold it. This is what I mean exactly. So after that, from this side now, I'll also measure 12.5 as well. I know now we are getting it right. Then I'll fold it over again. That means it's on 4 fold. Okay, now from this point I'm going to measure my radius. That's 2.39. Here I'm not adding anything, neither am I subtracting anything. So I'll just mark exactly 2.39, mark it round as I'm doing like that. Then after that I'll curve it. So when I'm done curving it from this point, I will now measure the length of this flare. The length is 9 inches, so I'll add 1 inch for sewing allowance, and that will give me 10, and I'll go ahead and mark it round. When you are doing this, you have to be very careful so everything will be equal. So when I'm done, I'll go ahead and cut it. So when I'm done cutting it, this is what I have. So here I have 360-degree circle. Okay, I need 2 to make it 720. So for this one also I need 2 to make it 720. So for this one now, I'm using this black material crepe to complete the second cycle, and this one as well, I'll use this one to also complete it too. So when I'm done cutting it, for this side you can see I have 2, and this one also I have 2. My material was not enough, and that was the reason. If you have enough material, please go ahead and use it instead of adding a plain material. But at the end, I love how beautiful it came out. So I'm going ahead to cut, to open it up from one edge like this, all of them, and this is what I have. Now I'm going to join it together to make it 720-degree, because one is now 360. So I'll join each of them together. For this, I'll join it with the plain material, stitch it this way, and this one as well, I will join it and stitch it. So when I'm done stitching, this is what I have, and now I have this 720-degree flare. It's now 720. So because I want this, the edge of this peplum to be curvy, I'm going to join this together this way and curve it a little. So from here, I'll be coming in by 3 inches. Okay, and then I'll go ahead and curve it this way and then cut it. So now I'm done cutting it. I'll go ahead and sew it round with the 1-inch allowance I gave when I was cutting. I'll sew it to this edge. So when I'm done, this is what I have. So I'll give it a notch so that I'll be able to turn it over to the right side and iron it. So I've turned it to the right side and also went ahead to iron it, and this is what I have. I also designed the plain side a little so it won't be too plain. Now the flare is ready, so we'll go ahead and stitch the upper side. So now for this upper side, I've gummed paper stay on them, as you can see, all of them, and also on the band. So we start with attaching the band. Added paper. So for this band, well, I'm going to go ahead and determine the center. Okay, when I have the center, I will notch it, so I'll be able to know where the center is. And this one as well, I'll also notch it. So I'm going to also notch the center of this peplum, although you will know the center from where you joined it. So now I'm going to place this here, the place I notched on the band, also the place I notched on the flare. I'm going to put it there and pin it this way, and also this one as well. I'll do the same thing here. So now I'll go over to the sewing machine and stitch it on the edge. I'm stitching the flare in between the two bands. So I'll stitch it round from the other side to this side. I'll stitch it to this edge. Then when I get to this side, I'll stitch it like this. So guys, I'm done stitching it, and this is what it's looking like. So now from this side, I'll fold it in a little like this and iron it out for easy sewing. So now I'm done ironing it inside by folding it a little. So we'll have to go ahead and work on the upper side. So I'll arrange it like this. Then I'll go ahead and stitch the shoulder side and this one as well. So when I'm done stitching it, this is what it's looking like, and this other one. So I'm going to place the two like this, right side facing right side, and I'll arrange it very well. Then I'll stitch the neck round. Okay, after stitching the neck, I'll stitch these two sides down, and then I'll stitch here. So for this, I won't be stitching this side, I won't be stitching this side, and this side. So I'm done doing the stitching. Now I'll go ahead and notch the next side, so I'll be able to turn it to the right side. So when I'm done notching, I'll just turn it over to the right side from here. So I'm done turning it, and this is how it's looking. You see how beautiful it is already. So we'll go ahead and attach it to the flare. So for us to attach this to the flare, I'm going to fold this flare into two like this, and I'll determine the center, and then I'll mark it just like this. And this one as well, I'll fold it just to know the center, and then I'll use my scissors to notch it. So when I'm done doing that, I'll open up this flare like this, and then I'm going to put this upper side. You can see the matching side. I put it on the matching side like this, the matching fabric, or yeah, place it very well. So I won't put this pinafore inside very well, just push it in with 1/2 inch. So I'm going to then pin it up, and then I'll go ahead and stitch it first before the other side. So I'm done stitching it, and this is how beautiful and neat it's looking. So the next I'm going to be fixing now is the two front side. So I'm going to push it in like this. Remember, we are not pushing it in very well, we're just pushing it with 1/2 inch. So from this end of this flare, I'm going to put it in there, and the same thing with the other side. So I'll go ahead and stitch the edge and then close the open side. Okay, with this band I'll close everything up. So if you watched till this end, please help me to subscribe to my channel. This is beautiful Pinafore flare. Please help me to subscribe, like this video, and comment. Thank you.